Good morning, everyone. I just want to say a quick welcome. We are still inviting and welcoming some of our attendees in from the waiting room. So we'll get started here in just the next couple of minutes. But thank you for being with us.
We're a quiet bunch. We just have a few more. Just for roll call, we have residents Sarah and John Britnell, if you wave.
Good morning.
We're joining us. Valerie Mangrum is joining us. We have Steve Havas, Stephen Williams. I'm Judy Good. I see Bob and Pam Gromeyer, if you wave. Mr. and Mrs. Richard Hooper. Susan Leathers, our PR partner. And a couple people are not on video, Miss Carolyn Wingard and Mr. Joe Wynn. And glad that you could join us today. Let's see if there's oh, who is Walwo?
I'm Suzanne Spencer.
Oh, hey, Miss Spencer. Nice to see you. And then I have owner, and I'm not sure who owner is. And I'm looking at a ceiling with owner. Who have I not welcomed yet? Hi, who are you?
Linda Carter.
Oh, hey, Miss Carter. Welcome. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
I don't know if there's anybody else ready to come in.
Judy, Miss Phyllis Carpenter joined us. I don't know if we said hello to her.
Well, hello, Miss Phyllis Carpenter. Nice to meet you. Welcome.
All right, well, we do want to be very respectful of everyone's time. I can still let folks in if they join us a little bit late, but we'll go ahead and get started. I just wanted to thank you all for being here today, and welcome to the Heritage at Brentwood. We'd like to welcome you to today's virtual event where we'll discuss how to shop online for a senior living community. My name is Valerie Mangrum, and I am the Marketing Assistant and Move-In Coordinator here at the Heritage. As a member of our marketing team, I work alongside our residency counselors. I help new residents as they prepare to transition to their new homes here, and I support our marketing initiatives, including email marketing, public relations, and events such as this one today. I also work very closely with our Director of Marketing, Judy Good. Judy has over 20 years of senior living marketing experience and has been with the Heritage since 2010. She and our team educate prospective residents on the differences regarding senior housing options in the greater Nashville area. Judy views her responsibility as assisting future residents, adult children, and their advisors to understand the various options available. With her guidance, you can feel confident in your selection of a life plan community, resulting in an exceptional lifestyle, peace of mind, and financial security. I'll now turn it over to Judy.
Thank you so much, Valerie. And Valerie is the glue that keeps us together. I don't know what we would do without her. She has spent, I don't know, endless hours putting this together for us, and I appreciate that. We have had a few technical challenges with the virtual platform, and we hopefully have worked out all the little glitches. Again, thank you so much for joining us today. We are, this year, we sort of hope that someday we will have in-person visits and events, but with the cases of COVID that are in our local area, we are continuing to do virtual tours. So I'm happy that you are able to join us this way. One of the things that I'd like to mention is that you can meet with us personally, Stephen, myself, or Steve, and have a virtual personal tour to get more of your personal questions answered. And this event today is going to be high level. You will have an opportunity to ask questions. If you go down to the bottom of your screen, if you don't have it visual on it, you will hover your mouse on the bottom of the screen, and you will see an area where it will say chat, a little bubble with a chat. And if you hit that bubble, you can add questions. You can see there, if you do that now, that Susan Leathers had said, "Good morning to everybody. I can see you, but my speakers are not working." And then you will see Stephen Williams has said, "Hello, just want to tell everyone to feel free to ask questions using this chat feature." Now, we will be monitoring this chat feature and may or may not, during this presentation, answer your questions in real time. If not, we will address your questions at the end of the presentation. So we want to answer all of your questions, but if you have more specific questions relating to personal health or financial, let's set a tour, let's set a virtual tour outside of this meeting, and we will be able to unpack and address all of your personal questions. So no further ado, let's get to the agenda today. So the agenda, what we're going to address, I know that you're all excited to learn how to shop for Community Online. We are going to do that. But first, we want to talk a little bit about the heritage and who we are. Stephen Williams will come on and talk about that, as well as the lifestyle that we have here at the Heritage. Then we're going to spend quite a bit of time on navigating the website. We're going to pull up the Heritage's website and show you how to navigate our website. Every single senior living community does have a website, and you may have already perused some of them, but there are some key features that you want to engage in on each website that will help you learn more about senior living and help you make an educated decision. We'll also hear from Stephen Havis. He will tell us about what to watch for when you tour, and how to determine a best value is another subject, and then we'll have some question and answer time. Again, this time is for you. This is the time for you to learn not only about the Heritage, but also how to navigate a website when looking for senior living, for a senior living community. So no further ado, I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Stephen Williams.
Thank you, Judy. And I just want to again thank everyone for joining us today. If you do have any technical issues, don't be shy about chatting about that or letting us know. We want to make sure that everyone can hear and see what we covered today. So again, it's my privilege to share with you this information and sort of help navigate as you're looking at this option. I want to just kind of start off a little bit about the Heritage, talking about that we do have local owners. So our community is locally owned, but we also have the benefit of having a nationwide senior living management company called LCS as a partner. So that is a really big and nice feature for us. LCS has about 150 communities across the country that they manage. And so it's a nice partnership of local and a national partner as far as our owner. I will also mention that, as you see on this slide, that Life Care Services has now 2 years in a row been awarded tops, if you will, in customer service for senior living communities. So this is 2 years in a row, Life Care Services. So we're very proud of that fact through J.D. Power. So any questions? I don't see any questions yet. So we're going to go to the next slide. So what I'm going to do a little bit on this information is really highlight the Heritage at Brentwood. for you. I know this presentation is not, the goal is not to necessarily highlight completely the heritage, but we do want to talk through some things with you just specific to the heritage, and lifestyle being one of those big features. You know, as I'm honestly just sitting here thinking about lifestyle and seeing a few of our residents, Mr. John and Miss Sarah Brentwood, who are on this call, and they're going to share with you guys some of the things that they enjoy here in the community. But truly, lifestyle and the abundance of activities is one of the main reasons why people are considering and looking at the heritage. And so the residents who live here are more active than I am. Residents that live here have more opportunities than I really even imagined before I started working here. So many times when I speak with people, they sometimes have this notion of a retirement community being just that they're retired and they're kind of going to ease into this transition, and many times they find that they're busier than they ever thought they would be moving here. So that's just kind of a side note. But as we look at this slide, the welcoming community aspect of the heritage is very important, because as we know, when you first move into a new place, it's very important to quickly get matriculated within the community. You want to meet people, you want to find the activities that most suit you. And so we do that in many ways. One way would be our resident council, and also our marketing committee, our welcoming committee. So we try to really surround new residents with opportunities to meet new people and to be involved in new activities. We do have 48 acres, so I will mention that we have what I would call sort of a massive kind of sprawling campus, 48 acres with multiple buildings. We have apartments and we have villas. That really makes us unique. Most of the communities in this area that you look at are going to only have mostly an apartment type setting, maybe a clubhouse with some features, whereas the heritage is going to have a 48-acre campus with walking trails and biking paths and all of these things at your fingertips. So that really kind of makes us unique. Peace of mind is one that we always talk about a lot. So the peace of mind that really gives a lot of resources at your fingertips, whether it be the aging in place, where you can move into this community and have everything at your fingertips as far as health needs. So assisted living, memory care, skilled nursing, and rehab care. So when you move in, you're very independent, but one day you may need additional levels of care. And so this community has everything for you packaged together. So that's very important, not only to you, but to your family as well. It's important to your family members to know that you're going to be in a place that's going to have everything, all the levels of care available to you. So very important. Upscale amenities. So in 2019, we finished our final phase here. So we added some new things. So we had one dining room. We added an additional dining room. We added an auditorium. We added an indoor swimming pool. So we added a lot of these features so our residents really have, if you will, a lot of shiny new pennies here to really enjoy and to be able to participate in many activities and to kind of enhance that lifestyle aspect of the heritage at Brentwood. The entry fee being buy-in, so there's a refundable entry fee. So many times people really want to kind of hone in and talk about this aspect of our community. We're going to not talk a lot about this today, but it is an entry fee up front. So there's a buy-in or an entry fee, and there's a portion of that which is refundable. So basically, if you're in an apartment, 90% of the entry fee is refundable, and basically if you're choosing a villa, 80% of that initial entry fee is refundable. So there is a refundability of that entry fee that is a nice feature of the heritage at Brentwood. The predictable monthly fee. So the monthly fee will go up on an annual basis. We'll talk more about that as we move along, but you're able to, at the heritage, to be able to predict not only at point of move-in, but if one or both of you, if you're a couple, needs additional care, you can easily predict what that monthly fee will be as you move throughout the levels of care. So at the heritage at Brentwood, it's basically stable throughout all levels of care. So again, we're not going to dive too deeply into that unless the group has specific questions, but just know that that is one thing that is an attractive feature of the heritage, to be able to have that predictability of the monthly fee throughout the entire continuum of your care here. A maintenance-free lifestyle. So who wants to deal with the roof anymore? Who wants to deal with the plumbing? In fact, just this morning, I texted a plumber because the shower is not working properly, et cetera, et cetera. So there's always something in a home maintenance situation, whereas our residents here don't have to worry about the home maintenance and the headaches that you have to in a home. And so weekly housekeeping, of course, is available to our residents. Transportation. So these are just a few of the things that are available to you as a resident to really enable you to enjoy the things that you want to enjoy the activities, enjoy all of the things that we offer, and you don't have the burdens, if you will, or the headaches of maintaining that home, kind of offload that to someone else. Activities and social events, so I'll kind of group those a little bit. Mr. and Ms. Britton will speak a little bit about that. But the activities and social events are very robust here, even during COVID. So you guys may have some questions about currently during COVID, what are we doing as far as activities and programs? And we're still doing many things for our residents as far as a social calendar and activities. Now we are following guidelines, so they are scaled back a little bit as far as numbers of attendees and the social programs. We're limiting those to 10 people with social distancing, but we're still able to basically do most all of the programming that we did before. The only thing would be a little different to that would be our in-room dining is the only dining that's available to our residents. So we offer dining, and Ms. Britton in a little while will share a little bit about some of her dining thoughts with you a little later. But our dining rooms currently are not available. We're delivering meals, three meals a day to our residents. And when I tell you these meals are chef prepared meals, so these are very nice meals that you're ordering from a menu. The residents here are having those meals delivered to them 3 times a day. So it's very nice for the residents to have that ability. Any questions? I don't know if we have any questions yet about the lifestyle, anything that I've spoken with so far. All right. So next, Judy's going to talk about navigation of the website.
It's a quiet bunch. Well, you know, we have all become experts in technology this year or this past year. It's amazing. I've been working with websites and doing marketing for many, many, many years. And I didn't realize what I didn't know until this last year occurred. And we had to depend so much on getting information. You need to know information from the internet and these different websites. So one of the thoughts that we came to as a team was, well, let's have an event focused on how to navigate a website. And so what better website to navigate than the Heritage at Brentwood? The main items that you want to look for when you are looking at senior living communities that we have learned over the years that most look at, key points would be services and amenities, floor plans. Floor plans is usually one of the biggest tabs that is searched on any website. How to request information, and can I afford the residence I want? Now, when you're navigating different communities and their different websites, you should be able to get an idea of all of these topics on their website. Now, every website is unique, everyone is different, and hopefully this what we do today will help you navigate. Tools with this will help you navigate other websites. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to our website and we're going to navigate this website. So hopefully all of you have been on our website at one time or another. We do change it out every now and then. We do update different components. You'll see a few changes here and there. But one of the main things you want to look at when looking at a website is the lead page, the first page you get to. A wealth of information is on that first page. When you look at the top header of the Heritage at Brentwood, you will see different titles of different tabs. There's community life, there's independent living, there's health services, financial planning, gallery, and about us and contact. And then right above it, you'll see additional tabs, which are events, careers, phone directory, and search. So you have all this information to look at, and you could even scroll down on this page and there's more content. We're going to reserve that for you to peruse when you open up the website yourself, but you will see that there is a wealth of introductory information on the lead page of this website as well as other websites. And from the main tabs on the top, you can actually get to that information within the body of this first page. But for the sake of time, I don't have 3 hours to go through this. We're going to just look at the highlights of services and amenities. So here at the Heritage, we put that category under community life. You'll see that there is a drop-down box that populates when you hover over that community life, and we're going to go to that page. So here you go, and when you scroll down, you will see a narrative of describing a day at the Heritage. You'll see Miss Klee and Miss Storrow in the pool, and they are current residents. I would say that 95 or 98% of those photos on our website are current residents who live in the community. And when you look and scroll down, you'll see life enhancing services. And in this category, you will see what's in our community. You will see that there's an abundance of amenities and services that are available to you. So hi, thank you, Valerie. Valerie is actually navigating this from a different part of the office, and she's able to highlight this. Now, do any of you have any questions about this section of the website? All right, we're going to go back because the most favorite tab, I believe, on the website is floor plans. And on our website, you will go to the independent living, and the drop-down menu will have floor plans. And I'm not sure if you've been on this yet, but it's pretty neat. So what better way to click here to find the perfect floor plan is to click here and find the perfect floor plan. And here at the Heritage, you will have, here on the Heritage's website, you will actually see the site plan for the Heritage at website, the Heritage at Brentwood. This you can actually expand. There's an ability to increase the size on the bottom right-hand side or decrease the size of this site plan. And you can also tap on different floor plans that might be of interest to you in terms of location. But what I want to do is focus on those top few bars. You will see floor plans, square footage, bedrooms, and bathrooms. When you get on this website or on this page, you can get the information you need a variety of different ways. If you already are familiar with the Heritage and you know the type of floor plan you're interested in, you would go to the floor plan section, to the drop-down menu, and populate that particular floor plan that you like. We have over 20 floor plans, and there's a variety of different styles of each floor plan. So that list is very long. So we're going to just pop on Overton. You had it, yeah. And you will see that it will populate or highlight the Overton floor plan in that square building, which is the Magnolia building. So take some time, peruse these different options. You could also search by square foot. You could search by bedrooms or bathrooms. And again, go to the drop down and it will populate those specific parameters on the site plan. Now, the site plan is a little glitchy. It does not show you what's available. So to know what's available, you will have to contact us. And the next topic we will go after we look at a few different places here is how to request information. So let's go back to the site plan. And when you go on the site plan, there are 3 different places we want to show you how to look at a different place. Say you would like to go and that E-shaped building and look at a particular floor plan in the middle wing of that E-shaped building, you can populate a floor plan, and when you tap on that floor plan, it will actually expand. There we go. So there you go. You have actually the ability to expand that even further. So there is a plus and a minus. And then you can go back to the standard. And that will also give you the address, not the postal address, but the address you will need to tell us that you would like more information about. So when you see a floor plan you like on this site, on this page, jot down what the address is. This particular one is E336, and it's a Bedford 2. If you go down a little further on that page, you will see the descriptor of that particular apartment. How many square foot, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms. The Contact Us tab does not work on this page, so you'll want to contact us. The next topic we will address how to request information. Any questions on how to populate a floor plan on this site plan? Now, again, not every senior living community has the ability to do this. They may have a different type of format. They may just show different floor plans that are on their website. And I don't think, honestly, that most communities have the variety of floor plans we have. So we have quite a few. There's 314 residences in the Heritage Independent Living Residences. And I have to share with you that most are very unique and different. And we're happy to help you unpack that. The other point with this page, Valerie, you're over there hovering on the left side, select a floor. Some folks like to be on a certain level, first, second, or third. Right now we are on the third floor. And if you could just show how to go on the second floor and then the first floor, you will see how the places populate on this site. So you could look by first floor, second floor, third floor. You can look by floor plan, square footage, bedrooms or bathrooms, or you can find a place that you would like to live in or a location and be able to put your cursor over that floor plan and bring that particular floor plan up. Is there anybody who would like to see a specific spot on this site plan? All right. Well, that's good. Well, let's go on then to how do you request information? We're going to go back to, so if you go here on the, you'll go to the contact tab or the phone directory. We practiced this several times, but I see that I'm a little behind where the cursor is. So you want to get information about the Heritage, you want to fill out this form. And if there were particular floor plans that you are interested in, you will put that information in this box.
You got to have financial information.
And if you submit this request Monday through Friday between 9 and 4, you will get an answer that day. On the weekend, when you submit a form submission on the weekend, we will get back to you on Monday. The best way, honestly, to reach us is by the phone. So on our phone directory, you will go to the sales and marketing, and that phone number is 615-507-2686. Valerie, Stephen, Steve, or I will be here, one of us at least, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Give us a call. We'll be able to get on the phone with you, one of us at least. If not, if you leave a message, we'll get back with you in a short period of time. and we'll be able to answer your questions. We will go over pricing, specific pricing. We'll go over your financial questions. We'll go over your medical questions. And if we don't have that time devoted at the time you call, we will set another phone call with you to give you that information. We do not reserve pricing and not share pricing with you, but we do unpack all of that with you during your phone call. We can also by email correspond back and forth. The prices are not secret. They did change January 1st, and we're happy to get that information to you. But I think it's important for you to also understand that discussing your financial circumstance with us is very important. It's very confidential. Every resident who moves into the Heritage has shared that information with us. We don't share it with anybody else. And that information will help us understand your particular circumstance and be able to advise you correctly as to which floor plan would work for you best from a financial fit. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go under the tab that is financial planning. That will say financial planning.
Judy, we had one quick question.
Yes.
Are the upper floors accessible by elevator?
Yes, let me go here. Yes, so all of the buildings, there's 3 apartment buildings. Good idea. So we have 3 apartment buildings, the Dogwood building, the Magnolia building, and the Redbud building. They are all 3-story buildings, and there are elevators. In the Dogwood building, there is 1 elevator. In the Magnolia building, there are 3 elevators. And in the Redbud building, there are 3 elevators. Now there are garden villas, which are 2-story buildings. There are 4 of these buildings. And those also have elevators as well. So if you live on the 2nd floor in a garden villa, you will have the ability to take an elevator or use a stairwell. And also in all of those buildings, there are stairwells. So if you want to get a little bit of exercise and go up and down stairs, you have stairwells in all of the buildings as well. Any other questions? All right, so let's go on to financial planning. So you may want to know, can I afford the Heritage at Brentwood? And we're going to do an example here under the money gauge calculator. So say you're not quite comfortable to call us yet to share your information. You just want to get an understanding of, can I afford this? And my best advice is to put your exact information in here. Don't be afraid. We do see the range that you put in, but it will only help you understand if you can afford the Heritage. So let's get started. And I'm going to use an example. I'm going to put my information in here. And I'm going to say couple. And I'm 59, so I'm going to have to say 75, and let's do 75 and 78. And I'm selling my house, yes. And I'm going to say my house is between 500 and 549. Then I'm going to say my savings, I'm going to go with 1.6 million. Actually, you know what? Let me bring it down. Let me bring it down to 1.2 million. Let's see what 1.2 million gives me here. 1 million to 1.2 million. My Social Security, we're going to do 1750 to 9. Yeah, thank you. And then we're going to do 1,000 to 1249. Let's see. And a pension, we're going to give individual one a pension of 750 to 999 and 0. And then, yeah, you could put my name in there. Thank you, Valerie. What can I afford? And then you submit. So what are the results? Well, with that profile, I can afford a 1-bedroom. I can afford a 2-bedroom. Now you could see that gauge is a little more, to the maybe it's a little tighter financial fit for the 3-bedroom. So you may want to have a 3-bedroom with a den, but this will we will unpack this a little more for you to see if it is a really good financial fit. But when you hit see floor plans, it will populate the entire site plan here. I want to do a start again, and I want to use less. I'm going to do this one more time. I think we have a few minutes to do this. And I'm going to do an individual. And my age is 75. And I will be selling my house. My house is going to be, I think I'm going to make my house 600 to 649. I'm going to own a bigger house. I'm going to, let's see if I have $1 million. Let's see, $1.1 million to $1.15 million. And that's your total assets and savings. Either one's fine. And we're going to keep, we're going to make that the same. Yeah, we're going to keep that the same. Oh, not 0. And we're going to keep that the same. Let's see what this populates. And you can go back and forth with this. Now that says I still afford. I'm able to afford the Heritage. I'm going to go, let's do it one more time quickly. I want to get it so that it only shows a 1-bedroom. Individual. So we're going to have to go to the assets. We're going to bring the assets, make that 450 to 500. And we're going to make that, we'll keep that at 950 to 999. We're going to keep the rest the same. Let's see what that does. So here, it would not work for a 3-bedroom, 3-bath place. It just would not be a good financial fit. So use this tool, go back and forth with it. It does alert us every time you do a submission. We understand that you have to do that to understand the Heritage and understand what would work for you. So when you get to this site, be honest, just put in what you have. And if it comes out that you're, everything is under red, still give us a call so that we can work out any other options for you here at the Heritage or maybe somewhere else. We want to be a resource for you and, just help you out in determining the best senior living community fit for you. Are there any questions on this? I know it's a lot of information and okay, great. Well, we're going to go on to the next topic. Thank you so much for your time on this. Please go to the website and work on this site, and we're happy to help you with any questions as they come up. So I am now going to turn it over to Mr. Steve Havis.
So Brad sent it to them, and then they sent me back the information that said you qualify for basically a 2.
Hi there, Steve, you're on mute.
Apparently, there's no way we will be able to
You just missed my nice little introduction of myself.
It was a
So,
wonderful introduction. I could hear it through the walls.
hi everyone. Again, it's my distinct pleasure to be able to have this opportunity to talk to you today, and I'm really glad you're here. So you've had an opportunity to visit different community websites, and you've narrowed your search down to the ones that you actually want to be able to go and visit. What I'd like to share with you at this particular time is just some ideas of what you might want to watch for when you tour, and actually some questions you might want to ask at the same time. So I think the first thing you're going to notice when you do visit any of the communities that you decide to look at is, how they appear to you. Are they well maintained? Are the grounds and the landscaping inviting? Are there outdoor activities that seem to invite you to those? Are there courtyards? Are there pocket parks? Are there walking trails? Like what are there, and do they appear to be in good condition? And also the location of the amenities is a very important thing to consider too. So for example, if I'm actually going to talk about types of location of residences and back into location of amenities if it's okay. So when you look at the types of location and residence that you prefer, whether that's a 1-floor, 2-floor, 3rd-floor apartment residence, or whether you look at the cottage residence scenarios we talked about before, which with us are villas or garden villas, where are they located in reference to the community at large? When you saw the site map that Judy was talking to you about, for example, you probably noticed that our residences that are the villa or cottage types, or the garden villas that she mentioned, are sort of on the outside area of our community. And one of the things to consider is, is that okay as far as the distance that you might have to travel to get to the areas that are important to you? And also when you look at the residences themselves and you look at them, one of the things that you might want to consider is how well kept and maintained are those. And a question I would suggest you might want to ask is, when those residences become available, what is the refurbishing process that particular community goes through to refresh that or bring it or modernize that? And do you have any choices in that or say in that, or how might that work in your particular case? So once you've decided the type and location of the residences, now the location of amenities becomes important. If you're going to participate in the restaurant scenarios that exist, how far is that from where your residence is to participate in? If swimming in the pool or exercising is important, what are the distances you have to navigate to that? The library, the art studios, whatever the amenities are that are important to you, do they have a community garden? And where are those located to you, reference to you? Are they centrally located? Those are all important things depending on the amenities that are going to be important to you. And also, depending on the time of the day, are you seeing residents? One of the things we know is incredibly important right now is the opportunity for socialization, especially among our senior population. So are there opportunities for the residents to get out and do things? Right now, the only area in our community that's
10 o'clock.
is our restaurants. So we still have the opportunity for people to participate in exercise classes, the pool, to go to the library, the art studio, those types of things. So do you see residents, and do they look like they're happy? If you can see them smiling through their masks, but are they out and about in the community themselves? And finally, do you see any of the team members, the people that actually are employed at that community? And if you do, do they seem like they're welcoming? Do they seem like they're pleasant? Do they actually seem like they're actually happy to work there? Because at the end of the day, what you're really doing is you're looking for your residents. You're looking for the place that you will call home. And you want to make sure that it checks off all those boxes that are important to you. So make sure that you have a checklist of what you want to look for and the questions you want to ask ahead of time to make the most of your time that's there. So I appreciate this opportunity to talk to you. Now I'm going to turn it over to my distinguished colleague with the same first name, Stephen.
Thank you, Steve. This next slide that I'm going to talk about really, I think, is one of the more important ones because it's really about asking questions. And Judy and I and Steve and all of us here and what we do, that's really what we do most of the time is we are answering questions. And so I just want to encourage you in a few things as you think about you're looking at a community to live. And just like Steve said, you know, I always say right now with COVID, this is a little bit more of a challenge, but when you're looking and exploring communities, you want to be able to picture yourself living in this community, thriving in this community, engaging with residents. As Steve said, all of these things, small to large, are very important because you know, this is an exciting chapter that you're going to write. And so you want to make sure that you do enough homework from the outset to make sure that you're kind of doing all of the things that you can do to make this the right piece for you. So there is no bad question. We love it when someone talks with us and they have a million questions. So please don't feel bad about any question you have. 9 times out of 10, Judy, I, and Steve have already had that question. But if you can stump us on a question, I mean, that really kind of, honestly, we really love it because that means you're thinking, making us think, we're thinking outside the box, and it really sometimes helps us to address things that maybe we've not thought about, or maybe we can think about in a different way. So questions, 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 please ask those questions. So what I'm going to do with this slide is, these are just some questions that we've thought about. I'm not going to go into a lot of specifics with some of these, but I always say, sit down, don't necessarily look at what Stephen says to ask, but we want you to sit down and think about what's most important to you. Make a list of your own questions, and then you can use these as well, which I'm sure will incorporate into a pretty hefty list of things that you want to really identify. So, you know, what activities are available? We've talked about activities, but what's important to you? You know, I like to garden. I like to be and dig in the dirt, but my wife likes to read. So you want to kind of get together with if it's just you, what do you like? Or if you're coming in with the loved one, what do you like to do? Make a list of those, and not only ask these communities about those activities or offerings, but you want to ask if you can speak to a resident in the community that is participating in these activities. And if you can get a resident who is on the activities committee or someone who's on a gardening committee, if you like gardening, speaking to the residents, in my opinion, are that's the expert advice. And so I really recommend to you to really drill down as much as you can within this asking questions phase, because you want to make sure that the community is very transparent to what you're asking. You know, if they're not willing to allow someone to be available for questions, or if they say, well, I'll get back to you, and they never do, sometimes those are red flags when you're looking at communities, because you really want to have as much information at your fingertips from the insiders who live there, who, you know, participate in the activities, they eat the meals on a daily basis. And so I really can't stress that enough. Activities, so that's important. Meal plan. So I'm going to actually toss it to Miss Sarah Brentnell on talking about food and the meal plan, because I think as I'm talking through this, she's going to be able to really articulate better than I am kind of how they use food, maybe now during COVID, but then also prior to COVID, what the food looked like for them and how they were using this within their daily life here. So take it away, Miss Brentnell.
Okay. For those of us who have cooked for years, the heritage is a blessing. The restaurant food choices are abundant. Each week you can choose from several different soups, at least 10 different vegetables, 11 different entrees, and of course, 4 desserts. If you have dietary issues, our chef is available to work with you. Due to the COVID restrictions, these meals are delivered directly to you. You won't go hungry. When our dining rooms open, it becomes a very social event. You will see your neighbors. You will make new friends. The food is just, it's top of the line. It's a high-end restaurant food.
Very good, thank you. Mr. Brentnell, I'm going to put you on the spot. I don't know if you want to add anything along the lines there. I'm going to kind of give you the floor if you want to speak to that.
The restaurant's also a great social gathering place. And when you go in to eat at the restaurant, you can tell the host that you would like to have somebody sit with you, and they will put somebody with you, whether you know them or not, and you get to meet a lot of new people that way.
Dining allowance.
That we all have a dining allowance, and it's built in within our monthly fee. And it's hard to use it all up, really. So it's a great, you can eat all you want in this place.
And there's no cash. Everything goes on to your monthly bill, and you pay that once a month. So you don't have to worry about, oh, I left my wallet in the apartment. There's no cash.
That's good. So, so as you can see, food's very important. We get those questions a lot. So you want to ask about food and what type of foods, and many times people have a very specific dietary need, or they want to ask those types of questions. And so, very important to when you're speaking with whoever representative you are at any of these communities, you want to ask those specific questions because want to make sure that they can address those with you. Another question that you want to ask is what levels of care are available. So you not only want to know what's available, but you want to know how they're going to be, how you're going to be able to tap into those when you need to and if you need to within the community. You actually want to be able to see those levels of care if possible. So obviously, again, I keep going back to COVID, sort of restricting a little bit on your access probably right now in some of these communities, but you want to be able to see, what does assisted living look like, or what does, if they have skilled nursing. Most honestly, most of the communities that are being built are rentals, and they're not going to have all of the levels of care, but they're probably going to have independent living, assisted living, and maybe memory care. So you not only want to ask, do you have that care? You want to ask, how will it be a part of my financial plan? So you want to know, okay, what will my monthly fees do if I go from independent living or back, or if I go up a notch, if you will, to assisted living or memory care, skilled nursing. So you really want to understand on a financial basis what your cost would look like over the term of needing additional care. So that's something I think you all would need to ask about. And then kind of a part of that would be a healthcare navigator. We throw that term around here at the Heritage a lot, healthcare navigator, but basically, is there someone, if you will, that has your best interest when you're navigating these levels of care? Do they have a resource for you to tap into, or for your family members, if you will, to tap into? Do they have a person for you to coordinate benefits, coordinate your care, talk to your family members if you have a medical event? So all of those things, honestly, sometimes aren't important until they're very important for you. And then you want to really know and need someone like that in your corner to help you kind of go through all of those odds and ends with Medicare, with your insurance, and all of those things. So here at the Heritage, of course, we have what's called a healthcare navigator, but you want to ask, when those communities that you're visiting, you want to ask if they have someone there that can help you navigate those types of things. Monthly fees, what's included in the monthly fees? Of course, when Steve, Judy, and I meet with folks, that's usually a lot of what we spend our time talking with, or what's included in my monthly fee, what are the services included? So you want to make sure that they're addressing that with you, they're covering that. I sometimes say, don't ask always what's included, but sometimes ask, okay, what's not included in the monthly fee? What are the things that I need to know about that I'm going to have to maybe write a separate check for, or I'm going to have to make other accommodations for, that's not already built into the program? So that's very important, knowing what's included, what's not included in the monthly fees. And then as a side note to that, I would say always ask for the residency agreement. So these are the contracts that every community is going to hopefully have in place. It's the black and white, if you will, of their promise to you as a resident. So we're very transparent here. We provide that, but we always want to stress that you ask for their residency agreement, so you can in turn take that, look at that, read through that, understand that, have your family, if they want to look at that as well. So those are very important. And then the history of monthly fee increases. So I would say 100%, but there may be a community out there. So I would say 99.9% of communities are going to increase their monthly fees on an annual basis. So so you almost want to just assume that those monthly fees will adjust every year. Ours do in January, but you want to understand, okay, what's the history of those monthly fee increases? How much have they gone up historically? So that way you, and if you're working with a financial planner, can kind of be able to spread that and look at that, what that's going to do for you over the lifetime of living here at the Heritage or another community. So you just want to understand what those monthly fees have done over the term. Let's see, any questions? I guess I would just reiterate, trying to really talk to people who live in these communities, that if you have resources like that, that's going to be very important. I have some questions. Let's see. Let me see if I can ask some of these questions. So I had a question discussing the differences between cottages and villas. So it can be a little bit confusing. We usually use the term villa here, but if you hear us say cottage, basically that's one and the same. So we have apartments. We have 3 apartment buildings that are all connected to the clubhouse. And so we also on our 48-acre campus have what we would call a villa. You may use the term cottage. So we have 3 types of villas. We have a freestanding villa, or a cottage, if you will, which is freestanding. And then we have a duplex villa, which is basically side by side, 2 connected. Both of those have a 2-car garage attached. And then we have what's called a garden villa. So the garden villas are basically an 8-plex, if you will, that's a 2-story building. All of the living space is on 1 level. So if you're on a 2nd level, you would only have 1 level living in that space. But so that's a little bit of the differentiation of the cottages and villas. We may not get too much into the weeds in this discussion. We can kind of do that privately if somebody has any other additional questions. Let's see, those are all the questions that I see right now, unless anybody else has any additional questions.
Well, I think we have one more slide left before we open up the floor to any more additional questions. And Valerie, you want to get the next slide up? So, a wealth of information today as we wrap up, and I want to be mindful, we're probably going to run over a little bit over, a few minutes over 11. One of the things when looking at senior living communities that I have learned over the years is that every single community has its own personality. They're all very, very unique. And when you look at communities across the country, there's usually a generalization based on 3 different types. Now, you could look this up on the website, on the internet, you know, different types of senior living communities. You will typically see a type A, a type B, and a type C, and even a type D. And basically what you will find when doing research on this, that the 3 main types are delineated as follows. Type A is the community that would have the most comprehensive services and amenities, as well as what we call a full continuum of care. What that means is that when you move into these styles of communities called type A communities, you will move in, you have to move in when you're independent. A lot of people will say, well, I just want to wait until I need to be there. Well, when you need to be in a senior living community, you can just take the type A communities off the list. So type A communities will be when you're still independent and you want to put a plan in place for your future health care, you'll be able to move into a type A community. So you move in when you're independent. However, in the type A communities, you have the fullest complement of senior living services, amenities, as well as long-term care. In a type A community, you will have assisted living, memory care, and nursing home care. And as well as those 3 levels, you also have the ability to receive short-term rehab services within the nursing home setting of those types of communities. You will also find in type A communities, typically you will find, and I shouldn't say typically, but you will find a rehab center in that type of community that has a physical therapy company that is operating within the confines of the community. One of the features about the Heritage, which is the only type A community in Middle Tennessee, in Middle Tennessee and in Williamson County, we also have we have the Williamson Medical Group walk-in clinic. We actually have a full-fledged clinic within our community. Now, you may not find that in all type A communities in the country, but you do find that in the Heritage. So type A communities are the ones that have the full complement of services. You never have to worry about a thing. You move in when you're independent, and as your needs change, there are services here available to you to remain independent. If you no longer can remain independent, you have those long-term care services all the way up to nursing home services available right on campus, seamlessly move back and forth from those services, and they're available to everybody who lives here in the community. And one of the features that we have that Stephen mentioned in the past is the Healthcare Navigator. You also have a point person within the community to help you navigate all these services. So the type A community is the one that has all that you may need as you're living your independent lifestyle and needs after that. Type B communities are communities that have a full complement of services. They may not have the full comprehensive services. You do have independent living all the way through to nursing home care, but in a type B community, you're paying as you go. It's fee for service. Your fees change. You still have an entrance payment. You still have a monthly fee, but your fees change based on your level of care. Type C is a rental community. Now, the rental communities, these are what I call the popcorn communities. They're popping up all over the place here, especially in Middle Tennessee. Even LCS, who is our managing partner, is building several of these types of communities locally. They meet a need. Folks that perhaps cannot afford the Heritage, that is an option for them. And when you speak with us about your particular situation, we will recommend other communities that would work in your financial profile. So the type C community is the rental community, and they may or may not have additional services, but they will never have the full complement of long-term care. They will not have, here in this area, a nursing home. They will not have a rehab center, and they'll have more abbreviated services. Perhaps they'll have assisted living, perhaps they'll have memory care. So those are the 3 different types of senior living communities you will find locally here in the greater Middle Tennessee area. And I hope that help you understand the differences. Now, I do have a question here. We're opening it up now for questions. How does one discuss how transition in levels of care is decided? That's a good question. It's decided based on your personal circumstance. So you will have your physician. Your physician may be part of the clinic that's here on campus, or it may be an outside physician. You'll have family members that are a part of that decision. You will not be able to get into the health center, long-term care, unless a physician recommends it. So you will have to have physician's orders for that. And that would be a decision between you, your physician, your family, to determine when you would need to move on to that type of care. The one nice thing about the Heritage at Brentwood in particular is that you can bring services into your apartment or villa. So we do have senior helpers on campus. They can provide, our healthcare navigator can coordinate with them to provide home health services, personal care services in your apartment or villa. So this works very well when you're a couple. The person who is maybe needing care you can coordinate those services to come in. That is private pay, though, that it doesn't fall under the life care umbrella. It's just an additional service that is available to you here at the Heritage and able to be coordinated with our healthcare navigator. I hope that answered that question. So I want to open it up. Any other questions? We'll take any question you have.
Judy, we're missing an important part of this place, and that's the activities we have going on here.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that.
Judy, this is John Brentwood. We're missing an important part of this place, and that's all the activities we have here at the Heritage.
Oh, I'm going to have you speak on that.
Okay. We
Because
have
I know you're really busy with that stuff.
I am, and that's important to Sarah and I. So we have a Healthy Life Center that's got all the latest and greatest equipment, any type of equipment you can imagine. And Sarah and I go there at least 3 times a week. We have a group of us that ride bicycles, and there's plenty of places on campus and off campus to ride bicycles here. You can get any amount of mileage you want to get. There's a group of us that gather twice a week on the putting green and have a little friendly competition on the putting green. And if it's too cold, we go inside and do Wii golfing. So that's always fun. And then twice a month, they'll set up a putt-putt course on the putting greens for us to go through. And that's always a challenge. We also have the walking trails here that I think somebody's talked about. But we also have in Popular Hall get this now, 9-foot by 17-foot TV screen, high definition. And a group of us goes down there and watches sporting events, and they will serve refreshments while we watch the sporting events. So Sarah.
Now it's really an abundant lifestyle here. There's even during COVID, for a few months there wasn't really anything going on, but right now we have socially distanced, limited number of people being able to participate in group activities. I think there was a bourbon tasting. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes.
There was a bourbon tasting.
And a wine tasting.
Hmm?
And a wine tasting also.
And a wine tasting. And I think there's ladies' teas. There are Bible studies.
There's happy hours.
Happy, and there, well, hopefully, anyhow. We have a fantastic library. The library is open. And again, everybody's wearing, I have my mask. I'm in my office alone, so I don't wear my mask. But when I go out, I wear my mask, and so do all the residents wear their masks just to be safe. And the library's open, and there are different social spaces. I don't know if you participate. I see you in the hallway a lot, Brett Knowles, with a group of people, but there's different social spaces within the community in the different apartment buildings. And what I'm seeing a lot, and it's really interesting because I've been here 11 years, and most, with these large group activities, you'll see folks there. But these social spaces, which are little sort of, I call them living rooms throughout the community, have always been, maybe I'll go by and I'll see one person there, and it's very nice. Now, what I'm seeing on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday nights, a group of people are getting together, socially distanced, safely, and they're bringing their beverage, their favorite beverage, and they're doing some socialization. It's really neat. So, it's hard to deal with COVID. It is. But what I have seen this past year is these small groups getting together and developing friendships and creating community, so there's the community at large, the Heritage of Brentwood, but within the community, there are these wonderful little community groups that are evolving. And of course, everybody is welcome. There's someone walks down the hall and boy, they're grabbed in and brought into the fold. So pretty neat to see. And I think there's another question here. Okay. Susan asks, Susan is our PR partner. She actually has quite an experience this past 2 years, and she has had her parents live out of state. She if they wanted to move here to Tennessee, I'm sure she would have them here. But she has, you know, quite a bit of experience with her parents and looking for senior living communities. And I think I'm going to probably have a PowerPoint presentation and a virtual event with her specifically with that. But she asked, what happens when you have a couple and one person needs care and the other person doesn't? And the decision by the family and the physician is for one person to move over to long-term care in the health center. Well, that's what happens. That person who needs the care transitions over to the health center, either in assisted living, memory care, or the nursing home care, and the independent living person will live in their apartment or villa. The only increase in the monthly fee will be no more than $740 a month. So that is the life care plan that the Heritage offers. If you're in a type B, you'll probably increase several $1,000s a month. But here at the Heritage, it's only $740 a month when you transition over to long-term care. Again, we want to unpack all of the specifics about pricing with you personally. We will give you a lot of information. We'll follow up probably later on today or tomorrow with an email that will have this PowerPoint attached to it, as well as a YouTube link to this event. We also have a guide that we're going to be sending out to you to unpack a little more information about the different types of senior living communities. But I just want to open up the floor to any more questions before we end. We're a little over time now, but just want to make sure that everyone feels that they've gotten the information they need. I think this is the quietest bunch we've had so far.
Maybe can we unmute everybody's mic?
You want to yeah, can we unmute everybody and see if anybody has any questions rather than putting them in the chat bar? All right,
There we go. Who wants to ask the first question?
Oh, great. Well, that's okay. Well, it's good seeing everybody. We're going to have another event February, let's see here, February 25th. We're going to unpack apartment rental communities versus the Heritage at Brentwood. We're going to really unpack that, and we're going to get into the weeds in that one. So February 25th, another virtual event. We're going to unpack why rental communities are the way they are and why the Heritage is the way it is. And we're going to compare them and have a really robust conversation. So thank you so much for joining us today. Enjoy the day and have a great weekend. Bye now.
Bye.